welcome to another Councillors update here on the Serenity Resource Connector. We are going to be sharing updates from the Richies and Spalding Divisions. And Councillor Elvis Marshall from Richies will tell you he's not so sure about the Richies, because the Richies haven't landed there as yet. So we have Councillors Elvis Marshall and Trevor Gordon who are going to be sharing here on this month's segment of Councillors Update, where they're going to be telling you what they've been doing in their divisions, what they're hoping to have happen in their division going forward, what the upcoming events are, and a whole other bunch of stuff. So if you are just tuning in for the first time, you would have been missing quite a bit here on Councillors Update. We are in month 6, which means that we are going to be sharing our 12 of the divisions. We're covering up to June, 2 each month. So we started out with our Mayor Winston Maraj, who shared on his divisions, Rocky Point and Mineral Heights, 2 in 1. And we covered Hayes. So if you're tuning in from Hayes, you don't worry, you missed the live, but the information is still there in the playlist. You can look for the Councillors Update, local governance and community development playlist, and you'll be able to see all the discussions that we have had. So we have been covering from 2022, all the departments, divisions of the municipal corporation, the services they offer, how you go about accessing those services. And this year, we are getting updates from the councillors across the parish of Clarendon. And we'll also be having updates as it relates to the parish local sustainable development plan. And you want to stay tuned for that. And much of what the councillors are sharing here are part of what it is that overall plan is about. And they are tackling these different issues in their different divisions. So without keeping you any longer, I am Winsome Sharia-Witter, your host here on the Serenity Resource Connector, and it's always a pleasure to bring you information and at times inspiration from a host of entities across Clarendon, the region of Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, and sometimes from their regional offices in Kingston. So let's get the discussion started with Councillor Elvis Marshall joining us from Richies Division. Welcome, Councillor Marshall.
Yes, good night, my host, Miss Winsome Sharia-Witter, the staff of the Clarendon Municipal Corporation, my divisional people in my division, and of Northwest Clarendon and whole. I just want to say thanks for having me here tonight to highlight some of the things that happen in the Richies division. And I never say it before, but I just want to give a big thanks, especially to the hardworking staff of the Clarendon Municipal Corporation, because without them, I could not have anything to boast about tonight. I just want to say a big thank you to all of the staff members.
All right, amazing. That's awesome. And for those who don't understand how the municipal corporation works, you want to go back to the first episode in the local governance and community development playlist where the CEO shared how the corporation actually functions. So you have the political arm, which is the councillors headed by the mayor, and then you have the administrative arm. Those are the people who carry out the work as it relates to the administrative aspect of things and putting the plans together. So you want to go ahead and share in the comments where you're tuning in from, whether you're from Richies Division or you want to put your community, you can go ahead and share that in the comments as we continue the discussion. So Councillor Marshall, when I got the listing with the different divisions and I saw Richies, I'm like, where exactly is Richies? Because I can't remember where in the parish that is. So just give us a pictorial as to the different borders of Richies so we can understand where in Clarendon. Richies is?
Well, Richies is bordered by the Spalding Division. I would say Spalding would be to the west of Richies. Then bordered by Grantham's, because this division has a lot of terrains. But and the areas that I have, I could just list them and then you'll understand. And the people who know Richies, know Northwest Clarendon and a whole, would be able to place Richies if they haven't been there before, but knowing the other areas. So Richies is a division that is bordered by Spaldings proper, Sanguinetti, Ferran, down to Logie Green where Frankfield and I share that area. Then we go down to Grantham. Grantham, I'm bordered by Grantham, going to Hilltop, Jericho, Union. Then I go to Coffee Peace and as far as the Leicesterfield. Just a little section down in Brand Peace. It's just a small PD, but you have to go through the Frankfield division to reach there. Then I go back up Coffee Peace, go back up to Richies again. That's a district called Fairview. Then you go to Belcaris. Then you go to Glenwood Spring, Sunbury, Bloomwell, a section of Victoria. Then it passes through the Thompsontown division again and go to Peace River, where Thompsontown and the Richies division border each. Then I go to a section of Banana Ground, come back down by Cumberland, a section bordered by the Belfield division again. You call that area Freetown. We have a little area you call Logan. Then I come back down to Belcaris, right back down through Richies, and then that's it.
Wow. All right. That sounds like quite a terrain there, because I know Thompsontown is on the hillier side of the parish, and I haven't been to Sanguinetti, but I've heard quite a bit about Sanguinetti. So that's like a deep farming belt.
Yes.
Because you're sharing that it's primarily farming.
Yes.
All
and
right.
by the way, how could I forget Ferran, Tweedside, Harwood, and Wiz Beach, where I border in Peckham with the Frankfield division again, and section with North Clarendon, the In and Town division. So I go back round to Tweedside, where Spaldings border me again. So it's a wide area.
So you have quite a number of councillors that you would share borders with, that you have to work closely with, I would imagine.
Well, I have Thompsontown, Frankfield, In and Town, Spaldings, Belfield division. Belfield is from the Manchester side.
All right. So let's welcome, I hope I get your pronunciation right, Jalicia, Richies Division. So you have support in the house, councillor. You're not alone.
Thank you.
All right. So tell us now, what has been going on? What have you been doing up there in Richies in terms of development, infrastructural development in that specific area?
Well, again, I just want to say thanks to the Clarendon Municipal Corporation to make it become a reality, because I can boast on over 19-20 roads in my division that was built during my tenure from 2003 up. I was able to build new roads, rehabilitate some, do caravan channels, box culvert in Lywood, where when we have heavy rain, the water used to cross the road as a fording, and we build a box culvert there, and build guardrails and to put on both sides, because when the rain falls, children could not cross until it ceases and then the water runs off. They could not pass. In Sunbury, I was able to build a UJ show a property that was creating a lot of problem. Several roads where people could not access motor vehicle to take out their produces. I was able to do some roads there. Well, in terms of minor water supply, we have a challenge there. We have a few springs where we try to maintain them from time to time, clean them, and to repair any damages that are there. Because we are not blessed as yet with potable water. The pipes are there now. The former Member of Parliament, Richard Hazan, he started the program, the pipes were laid, but up to this day, we have no water in them. We were able, with the assistance of former Member of Parliament again, to build several basic schools and to rehabilitate some across the division. We also contributed a lot to the different schools, repairs, furniture, you name them, with the assistance again of the former Member of Parliament. So, as I said, my division is a division that doesn't have much infrastructure. I was not blessed with a high school, but we have several primary schools and ECIs. We are not blessed with any supermarket, but presently now we have about 3 hardwares in the division. We have 2 clinics, one in Tweedside and one in Cumberland. So that's for infrastructure in my division.
So for you mentioned there's no high school. So what happens when they get to high school stage? Where do they head?
Well, we are feeder to Edwin Allen, Spalding High, Belfield High, Manchester, Alston, Christiana, Knox College.
Okay, so how long on average would it take them to get to the closest high school?
Well, the closest one is Spalding. So coming from Cumberland, if you're going to Spalding, you have to give yourself about 20 minutes.
Okay. All right. And what's the transportation system like?
Well, taxis. And for Edwin Allen, we have a bus that travels from Cumberland to Edwin Allen. And in the earlier days, I usually operate a bus system where we used to transport students from Banana Ground through Tweedside, Peckham, down to Frankfield, up again through Peckham, down Lodge Green, back to Frankfield. So I usually do 2 trips per day. But because of the new vehicles coming out now, those buses get obsolete and everybody want to take taxis. So that's out of the system. We just have a coaster bus now that takes children from Cumberland to Frankfield.
Okay. And Julie says, reminding you that Thompson Town as well.
Yes. So because those students from Broomell, section of Victoria Peace River, Thompson Town would be the nearest school, so they'd go to Thompson Town.
Oh, okay. So as it relates to electricity, how is that in the overall division? Everywhere have electricity. You mentioned they're not everywhere have running water, but pipe water, but in terms of electricity, all the division?
No, but we're still blessed because most of the year, I would say it will be excellent. Again, if you notice, I have to mention the former Member of Parliament several times because just before the last election, we did a survey through rural electrification to see if we could get electricity going into the other little areas like Peace River, some other little areas like the Henry Street that's between Richies and Sanguinetti, and just a few areas. But I would say 90%, 95% of the division, we have JPS we are going through.
Okay, and for those areas that have JPS wires, are there any challenges?
No,
in terms
because
of power outages?
Not much. Not
okay,
much.
You're blessed, because
Very,
there are other sections of the parish, especially northern Clarendon, on the other side. Your neighbors aren't so lucky. They're having some extreme challenges there, but of course that is being dealt with. So in terms of community development, do you have community centers, and what's going on there in terms of that? Your community groups, you have active community groups?
Well, with community centers, we have a community center in Richies. It's not utilized much again because the whole land setting, we have a problem in that area, because you might be aware that the Ryomina begins in Richies. So we have a water problem. So we have a lot of houses that were destroyed years ago. The land moved, sink, even a section of road where we try to keep it up. But as you spend and fix it, a few months after I start to sink again. So the community center is not really being utilized, but from time to time, the guys will go there and clean the field and play some football or cricket, especially football. So we use the one in Sanguinetti because I bought at Sanguinetti as well. So we use that one in Sanguinetti also.
Right.
Those are the two main community centers.
So what kind of activities are there for the young people other than football?
Other than the football?
Right.
Well, football is the main one. Football is the main one. And we usually have the girls competing in netball rallies, because the former member of parliament again usually have some competitions right across a division with other divisions. So we utilize the field in Spalding's much. And like for the girls in Cumberland, we have a very nice all-purpose court that was built by former MP. And Tweedside, we also have one in Tweedside.
Oh, okay. So for the community groups, do you have active police, youth clubs, or any of those organizations across the division?
Well, no, we don't have an active police youth club, no, but with the DAC, we have Lassell Simmons, who try to initiate programs through the DAC where we have competitions from time to time, 2020 cricket, netball rallies, and so forth, where we go out even as far as to Maypen to compete with other areas.
All right. So where do these young people go for employment? Outside of farming, what happens for those who are not into farming?
Well, you have some try to do their own businesses, like bars, shops, hairdressing, and others go out to Spalding's because you have a lot of supermarkets there. So you have some go and work at the supermarkets, some go as far as to Mandeville, some go to the call centers to work in Mandeville. So, but in terms of employment, it's a bit sticky, but you have some people who are persistent in getting something to do, so they'll go the extra mile to get a job. Sometimes it doesn't pay much, but they still go out. You have a black factory in Whitechap, and you have some go there to work, some go to the different hardwares, some work with the guys who operate the little trucks that works with the hardware. So right across, you finding something meaningful to do.
So, with that kind of situation, do you have a lot of social concerns in your division? And if yes, how are those addressed? Do you have a lot of people on PATH program and so on in that division?
Yes, we have a lot on PATH. We have the older people who are also on PATH. A lot of them are on PATH, and some of the students depend on the PATH to go to school.
Okay, because based on what you're describing there in terms of the because there's not much in terms of businesses for funds to come back into the division, so I can imagine that there must be some challenges there financially, economic in general. So are
Yes,
there are there opportunities in the space for any investment?
yes, because you have this guy who is abroad now from Belcaris. He is doing a nice business, wanted to come down and to run a auto shop, especially with trucks and to sell truck parts. He has um, a nice bar settings in Chapel, that's Glenwood Spring. We have a hardware that employs a few. We have in Sunbury Annex hardware that also cater for some. In Richies proper, I do a little business myself where I employed a few. So, but we need some other things to occupy some of these guys. Well, you have some who went and did the art program and they get employment in some welding shops or some do cosmetology. And I can tell you, there was this program, the unattached youth program and the apprenticeship program that was initiated by Mr. Azan as well again. And you have a lot of those students who passed out and are employed all over the place. So migrate. We have a lot of them who are beneficiaries of the farm work program, and going up, they came back down and they make use of their earnings, build their houses, set up some business, buy a lot of taxis. So in terms of that, you have a lot of those persons now. You see they are their own boss. So they have several taxis on the road. So you have some other guys get employment also.
Okay, so they're quite a resourceful bunch of people. All
Yes,
right, it's
yes. Apart
fantastic.
apart apart from the farming, they try to tell themselves.
All
Because
right.
sometimes you pass through some districts, you'll find a lot of guys sitting down on the roadside. It's very seldom you might find a few guys out on the street.
That's commendable. That is commendable. All right. So we are wrapping up this segment with Riches. So if you're just joining us, we're having discussion with Councillor Marshall from the Riches Division there in Clarendon. Sir Marshall.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We're still live. So we let's hear your top two vision for your division? What's the top 2 things that you want to get done in your division?
Well, the water. We definitely need the potable water. I can tell you. I am dying to see the lines energized so that people can get some water, because it is very difficult, very difficult for some people. They have to be purchasing water from trucks and so forth. And God bless the Clarendon Municipal Corporation that grace us with some water, especially during the dry season. That is one of my priority. I would really like to see a training facility in Richies where we can train some of these guys, because there's one in Tweedside, but it wouldn't be able to cater for much. And because of its location, you have people coming from all over the place going there. So if we could have something of our own in the Cumberland area, because we have a lot of youths in Cumberland, and if we could find something meaningful for them, it would make a big difference in the division.
All right. So it sounds like you need to have some more engagement with the different entities in the space to get that to happen. All right. So as we wrap up, any upcoming events, activities in your division?
Well, apart from the graduations now, we don't really have much. Well, I must just say that we have a summer employment program through the YSEP, where presently we have some youths who are going to work for this summer to earn a little money that they can go back to school. And Mr. Salmon spoke to me one day last week, trying to come up with our next program. And I should tell you too, we also through the DAC were able to get an aquaponics project in Richies, where they raise fish, freshwater fish, and do farming, like do vegetables. So the same water that raise the fish, water the plants, and it is going well in Richies also.
All right. All right. Quite a lot that needs to be done in that area, because a lot of development seems like needs to take place, because as the tagline says, water is life. So we need to make sure that we get the water running there. All right. Thank you so much, Councillor Marshall, for sharing space with us here on the Sorrento Resource Connector. I trust that those who are viewing will have a better appreciation of some of the challenges that they are experiencing there in the division. And for those who have moved on to what we term greener pastures, that they will, all right, they will be able to give back to developing the division. Thank you again, Sir Marshall. That was Councillor Marshall from the Richies Division, sharing what he and his team, the support from the Municipal Corporation, the Member of Parliament has been doing in that space to drive development. And for those who are connecting, if you're connecting from the diaspora and you see where you can offer, if it's even technical advice, some kind of advice as to how to develop the space, you might have gone, lived there before, no longer living there, to see what it is that you can do, especially to help the children and our youth as we move forward. So, Councillor Marshall makes way for Councillor Trevor Gordon from Spalding Division. Welcome, Councillor Gordon.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, let me take the liberty of saying that most, if not all, the viewers should know where Spalding's is. So unlike Richies, that is one of those divisions that we don't know here much of, because Spalding's is a buzzing town in the parish of Clarendon, neighboring Manchester. And I think one of the things that we hear most
Manchester
about,
and St. Anne.
And St. Anne too.
Yes.
But one of the things that we hear most about Spalding is the whole matter of whether it's in Manchester or Clarendon,
yes,
especially as it relates to police division.
Yes.
So most of us would know about Spalding.
Spalding is in Clarendon, but the police division is in Manchester. So Manchester police division, right? So Spalding's, like the hospital is at the border, near the border. So it is in Manchester, the hospital, but we call it Percy Junior Hospital. Most people call it Spalding's Hospital.
Spalding, yes.
Right. And Spalding's Clinic.
All right. So you have quite a bit. So tell us, all right, so let's start there in terms of the kind of infrastructure that you have in the Spalding division.
Well, we have a lot of infrastructure. We have a lot of roads. We have both Porocal Road and the NWA Road. I'm going to speak about the Porocal roads, which under the Municipal Corporation. Since being a councillor, I have completed about both rehabilitating and new roads. We're supposed to do about almost 30 roads. With the help of former member of parliament, he also helped us with some of the roads, so we could have better roads for the communities. We build drains. We have a lot of. We do bus shed. We put in welcome signs, welcome and directional signs. We also have put in a safety rail at the Spalding's Primary School. We have also make some retaining walls, and we bathrooms. We have built bathrooms, and we also have receive a rainwater harvesting system at the Alston Primary School, where they store the water, catch it in tanks, store it for the use. And and we have a lot of construction going on that is completed with supermarkets. We have some supermarkets that is built, and we have about 2 infrastructure to start. We have a storage here, a storeroom that the Chinese is building. So as soon as that is completed, they will store the goods in there and supply it all across Jamaica. So that is some of the infrastructure we have.
Did you say across Jamaica?
Yes, because the person who is doing it, he is I think he's the president of the Chinese for this section, for this region. Okay. So what he will do, he will store them there, and then they transport it to other section of the island.
Okay, because that's one of the things that I noticed that they do a lot of in terms of bulk buying. Mm-hmm. Because for economies of scale, and I trust that more of our business operators will get a better understanding and appreciation of that. Because when you buy in large quantities, it makes it easier in terms of able to get lower cost, and in terms of clearing, because you're able to now bring in a container instead of those little small packets that you would probably take in or buying it right on a small scale. So that sounds like something really great. So is there a potential in terms of increased employment opportunities where that specific project is concerned? Definitely,
because the Chinese in Spalding's is one of the most they employ the most persons. The Chinese combined, because almost every supermarket, some of them have up to 20 workers, 25 workers. So, and we have some 11 supermarkets in the town.
Right. Great. And another awesome thing that I learned a couple of years ago about the Chinese community in Spaldings is that they actually invited the health department in, and they have like training. They provide their people with training.
Yes, yes, yes. What also happened when the health department go in, they said to the Chinese, you must do this and do that. They didn't understand. They was depending on a worker to tell them what happened. So when the health department visit back, the work wasn't done. So they found out that is because of that. So what happened now, the Chinese would go in and they train them, teach them, show them, train them what to do. And it is getting better and better every day. So we have less complaint about the Chinese and the supermarkets, because some of the time they wasn't so friendly in terms of you used to see roaches and but everything is, they're working with the health department now good.
Right. Because I understand that they got even interpreter in so they can bridge that barrier, which I think is really awesome. And it's an annual activity that they fund.
All right. Since the COVID, I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, but because of COVID did work. But the Chinese and they do some things for the community, because they donate things to the police stations and
That's really great, and I trust that we can mobilize that kind of energy across the parish.
Yeah.
We hear those good things happening. That's really awesome stuff. All right, so let's continue on the different infrastructure. Let's share here some of the things that's been going on up there in Spaldings.
Okay, all right. This you're looking at is a bus shed that
Let's talk us through it and continue to flow.
All right.
So you can start from let's start from the beginning.
This you want to start over?
Yeah, it's starting again. So you can just go through beautification.
All right. This is the beautification of the town. We paint up the town, and this is the safety rails put in by the municipality at the Spalding Primary School. We have a sanitary convenience, and we have a bathroom at the Minnie Clark Transportation Center. This is speed bumper put into Baileystown Primary and one at Alston High School. This is a bus shed from we win this award. I'll explain a little bit more when I finish. This is a rehabilitation of a road. This is that minor road. And this is a road now what we build, but we make sure we put in drain because we don't want it wash away. This is tourists. Tourists make a stop at the Spalding's Market every Thursday. When they're passing, they stop by and use the bathroom. And they buy from the vendors and they take pictures, because we have a scenery across from the market, so they take pictures and so forth. The bathrooms, why I emphasize on these bathrooms is because we want the men especially to stop using the road and the side, the light posts to urinate, because we have 3 good bathrooms in Spaldings. The one at the library, it was built by the Spalding Citizens Association and turned over to the Municipal Corporation. Former Member of Parliament, Mr. Azan, get it refurbished through the TEF, the Tourism Enhancement Fund, and it is up and running, very clean. The one in the market is very, very clean. Those 2 bathrooms, we monitor them. Somebody work it there. They charge a small fee of $50 to use it and keep it clean. So you don't have to worry about bathroom. You can come to Spaldings. You can go at the sanitary convenience right at the front of the market, and you can go inside the market. The one at the transportation center, the Minnie Clark Transportation Center, that one have a urinal section to it that open 24 hours a day. 24 hours. So you don't have to pay to use the bathroom. So I'm asking the men to use that one, to go and use it instead of using the right in the town, the light post. So that's why we, and there's also a small one across from the right, a urinal open 24 hours a day at the Johnny Chen Texaco gas station. So we have at least 4 places that they can use and don't litter the town with urine.
That's right. Because with the beautification project that you have there, we don't want them defacing the wall.
Right, right.
Yes. Tell us some more about the beautification of the town and how often that takes place.
All right. The beautification of the town. What happened? Spaldings didn't have a park like some of the other areas. So I mentioned it to the municipal corporation and they decided to help me. And from day one, we've been fixing up this town, very beautiful. We paint it 2 times a year. We make sure we paint for August, Independence, and for Christmas. But the municipal corporation now have a fund that I got yearly, and that is for the beautification, and we got that. So we are going to start that one weekend. My weekend, we're going to start back beautifying the town again, painting up the town. So thanks to the municipal corporation, Spalding is looking very good.
Really bright. Yeah. I love the colors and the consistency too of the colors. Right. The bus shed, you won an award.
Yes, the bus shed now. The bus shed now, it's Spalding's zone. We won last year for paying the most property tax that I think that quarter, and the prize was $200,000 for any tax area that won that prize. And I said I'm going to spend my 200 wisely, and I built a bus shed. The bus shed that at Moriva Primary School, it is right between the primary school, the clinic, the Moriva Clinic, the Morivan Church, and the cemetery. So we have 3 set of people can use that bus shed. And I deliberately write on the tax and the municipal corporation on it. If you notice on the top, it said it paid to pay a property tax. So I'm just imploring and telling people that we not just only do things. Is not every council that's, we at the Clarendon Municipal Corporation, we work, and maybe we need more of this to highlight what we are doing, to let Jamaica know that we are doing some things, and we want the citizens to start pay their property tax. Come in and pay the property tax, that we can do more for the communities.
Indeed. And I'm still trying to come to terms with, because the last thing I thought of, I don't know how many of the viewers would have imagined that Spalding would be a tourist stop.
Yes, and
where do these tourists come from, and where are they heading when they stop?
All right, most of them coming from Ochoas, and they're going to the South Coast, or the South Coast they're going to, and they stop, and the first time they stop, they wanted to use the bathroom, and we direct them down there because they didn't know where to stop. And from that, they use the bathroom. The person that took them on that trip reported back to their person in office and tell them about the bathroom and the quality bathroom and the quality service that we do. And from that day until now, the tourists, when they come to Spalding every Thursday, you can look for 3 or 4 bus park in the park at the market, and they use the bathroom, and they go across to Juicy Beef and they buy their patty, because they love the patty, and they buy the Jamaican fruits, and they are always asking questions about how the yam grow and how they, so it's a nice little place. We're hoping that after a while, we can have some young people start selling some small craft items down there, because the market's supposed to do some renovation upstairs, and when that we will have space that we can sell those craft items for the tourists.
Beautiful. I love that. I need to pay a visit to Spalding. I think I've been there. Yes. I've been there once.
Yes.
I've been there once. I need to pay another visit to Spalding's to see. Yeah, I don't think it was that pretty when I was there, I came there. So I need to come and see what's going on up there in person. All right. So I love that in terms of the creation of economic employment development that's taking place in the different areas, and you have this inflow every Thursday of
Yes.
economic activity taking place right
Yeah,
there in this area,
definitely.
which is really awesome. And even in terms of the real guards that were put up to protect our children, we can't
Yes.
emphasize that enough. So we
Yes.
have to commend Spalding for taking that approach.
We have a challenge at the primary school now with speeding, and we are trying to see if we can do something about it, and hopefully soon we can announce something about it.
All right. So yes, because we have to protect our children.
Yes, definitely.
Right. Because see, we're gonna be having this activity tomorrow in recognition of all our children that we have lost to
Yes.
violent activities, and it's really a shame that as a country that we have to be doing this. And I trust that it will really send a powerful signal to those who are abusing our children to really stop. All right. So so many things happening. Share with us. You were sharing before we came on in terms of, even though you have all of these activities taking place in the town of Spalding, you still also consider Spalding to be a farming, some amount of farming taking place there, and not
Definitely.
only farming to sell in the market, but
Yes.
export. Tell us about that.
Yes, we have a lot of um men who buy the yams and do it for export purposes. And surprisingly, I know about 3 young men just in their early 20s who are in that business, and they are doing well. And they also buy the yam, the Irish potato, and we have a yam house down there, a factory down there, Williamsfield. So it is near to them, about 10 miles from Spaldings, where they can go and sell. So it's not everything we sell in the market and at Coronation Market. We sell for export, and we are doing well.
So, are there plans to expand that initiative in terms of the export to get more of our young people involved?
All right. We have some farmers. You see, what happened? Tell you the truth. What happened? We have some farmers group, and since SDC, we don't have a SDC officer in Spaldings. We don't have one that is, when we did have one, we also can have the groups and the citizens have meeting. We have the community meetings. We have some youth clubs. But now everybody, nowadays young people, if you don't guide them, you can't leave them alone. So we
That's
don't
right.
have any. Yes, so we are hoping, and um, our farmer member of parliament, we have to big up that man because he has some vision and he plans around the young people. But since 2020, all of the art school that was running in Spaldings closed. Don't have any program again. Silent Hill Community Center closed down. Sang United Community Center closed down. They used to do it at the Spaldings United Church. There are program there. No program is running. So only thing we can do is send the young people them now to um, C Palmer in Twitside, that is in the Richies Division, or we send them off to Mandeville.
That's not a good sign.
Not at all.
Not
Not
a
at
good
all.
sign at all. But as it relates to the SDC, isn't SDC like the sister entity to the municipal corporation fall under the same ministry umbrella?
Yes, it worked closely, but we have somebody acting, but we want somebody, so that person's acting. If I'm not that person's supposed to do it, acting in Spalding's, Richies, Ian and Town, Chapelton, maybe about 6 years. I don't know. They're short of officer, but we need an officer that somebody, these people need officer that they can call them and say like Miss Brown, so and so and so and so forth.
Definitely, because
The new officer, the officer who is temporary here, I'm going to work close with her and see if we can
right, because there needs to be more in term, because what I'm hearing is that there's not a sustainable approach to what's happening, because it shouldn't be, because there's a change of MP or change of where you have some of these
tell you the truth. I think what happened, I think COVID, you say COVID have a lot to play with it. But guess what no? You see, when you have leaders have to have vision. If leaders don't have vision, the people perish. And that is what happening. It don't mean it's your sweet talk, anything. You have to have people who can plan ahead and do this thing. Right? Because we try to see if we could even start something. And what they are telling us, or they're telling us, we as councillors, we don't have any CDF to fund the programs because it don't come free. You understand? So you have to have we can't stop talking. You have to have both member and parliament and council working together on a vision for the division or for the constituency. Simple, straightforward.
Precisely so, because my understanding of the CDF is that it's the people in the constituency who are supposed to guide that discussion.
Yes.
And for those who are not familiar, because these things are public, it's open when they're having the discussion about the Constituency Development Fund, that is CDF. It's on YouTube where you have it open discussion, and each member of parliament is supposed to present because they're supposed to meet with their constituents.
Definitely. And
right,
not only
that includes the councillors.
Not only because you said you come out and you say, oh, I spent $8 million on education. What did you do? You didn't have any training. You no art training, nothing for the youths. You can't. So I don't know. We need good vision.
Right. So so we want to see more happening, especially because I'm particularly passionate about local governance, community development, because if we get that right, I firmly believe if we get that right,
yes, definitely,
then we will get the overall economy right, because it cannot take place in silo. Right, but we can't close out before you share about the social intervention, the kind of collaboration that takes place with like our police and those other entities. Share about
the social services, those collaboration. We good in Spaldings with that. The Clarendon Municipal Corporation play a big role in with the poor relief officer. We have a lovely poor relief officer. So the poor relief department do some things there. The Red Cross, Spalding's Christian Area Group Red Cross play some role. Rotary Club, we have the Rotary Club because it is there. Spalding and Christiana, they also play a part. The Spalding Citizens Association, they play a vital role with those two. Various churches, because with the various churches could be seen doing things in the community, and what they do, they come through, they talk to me, and I put them onto the poor relief officer, because we don't want them to just cook for the poor or the person on the street. We don't want them to just cook like that. We want them to know that the cooking is good. So they come through the poor relief department and they get okay and they do their cooking. Some assistant from the Minister of Labour and Social Security, we get something from MLS too. The Spalding's Day the Spalding DAC plays a critical role. The police, the Spalding's police, they help, and we have only 3 persons we have on the street in Spalding's, and they are not from Spalding's, but we try to take the best care of them. Sometimes when they get out, we have to call the police to take them to get their medication. We have one of them now, we can't get to take any medication. And but the other 2 go back home. Sometimes they go back home where they come from and spend 3 or 4 days. But they love Spalding's because they get good attention, so they just come back to Spalding's. So the police help us very good in that way. And if anything happening in anywhere in the community, any communities, the police always tell us that somebody in need of help.
Okay, I love the partnership and the collaboration that's going on there, because
Definitely.
That's a key thing in terms of community development. We need to get the different entities talking
Yes.
So that you can create meaningful change. And for those who don't know what the poor relief does, there's a discussion, a forum that was held outlining all of that. And I was sharing with the director there that the way I hear them sharing, some of these people might just keep coming back. As you say, they keep coming back because they are taken care of. But that's very commendable, that what you're doing there. All right, 2 more things before we wrap. What's your top priority in terms of your vision for the Spalding Division?
Well, when I just became, my vision for Spaldings was building better communities. I believe in communities that is properly built. And in 2023, I didn't expect that we would have some areas without electricity, running electricity. And I still couldn't believe that we would have some areas without running water. We understand that some areas we won't get and will never get because of the terrain or it take long, but you know, and road, you know, those are the things that the people cry for. So I have to adjust my vision with them. And what they want is road, water, light, and jobs, opportunities. So that is basically my vision, to see a Spaldings where people can get water to bathe and electricity. You don't have to a year without light. No, man, it's full time now. The country have to move forward, man. You know, and what I would love to, you say, for the social.
Those are basic.
Yes, those are basic things. And what I'd love to see, for example, the Minister of Local Government or the government give the poor relief department and the poorer class a 300% increase in their subvention. If we get a 300% increase in the subvention, we could do a little more for the poor. You know?
Indeed.
Yeah.
The poor will always be there. We just have to take care of them and help them to move beyond, because the success stories that were shared by the Poor Relief Department really commendable. And of course, the added funds will go a far way in terms of getting the younger people to a position where they can help to lift their family out of that band, so we can take care of more. All right. And finally, upcoming activities. Tell us a little more about the municipal corporation.
Graduation coming up, a lot of graduations. We have 15 young people 15 youth from the community, from the Spalding Division, will be employed in the YSEP program, that is a youth summer employment program run by the Ministry of Local Government. We have that they will be having an opening ceremony at the 30th in St. Anne, and when they come back, the parish council will train them, give them some guidance and orientation, and they put them to work. They'll get they get a stipend to go back to school. I also have a community church service up Brandsland. So I'm asking all the people from Brandsland, you always go to a year time, the police, the nurse, they always invite politicians. So we go into church service to worship that day, so inviting them. We are in a year of preparation for the hurricane season, the upcoming hurricane season. We also have we have a fund day in Sanguinetti, and some part proceed will be donated to the Sanguinetti Primary School. Some members from the community will be keeping that, but we will join with them and celebrate with them. One will be at the Spalding Primary School on the 1st of August, and one will be at the Baileyson United Church on the 1st of August. And all of those are towards betterment and the upliftment of the community. So that is what we have planned coming up.
Awesome. Quite a bit of activities, and I love how everything just ties in, and it's all geared towards development of the communities within the division. Yeah. And I trust that for those who can help to drive the vision forward, I know that
Can
a
I
lot
say
of...
something finally?
Sure, go
I would
ahead.
like to say a big thanks to the Clarendon Municipal Corporation, headed by the CEO and the mayor. But the CEO vision ties into our vision, and he's guiding us properly, and we just work with him, and Clarendon and Spalding will be a better place in the near future.
That is really great. It's good to be able to give credence to leadership. And the support is very important, and the unity of vision is very important, and the collaboration that's required to drive the process.
Yes, definitely.
Really awesome that you're able to acknowledge the support that you're getting. Amazing. So this has been another Councillors update. And remember, this has been 12 divisions, and we have, is it 9 more to go? 20? No, it's 22. So we have 10 more to go. So we have 22 divisions in the parish of Clarendon. So we have covered 12 up to this episode, and we have 10 more to go. So stay tuned if you have not heard from your councillor as yet. Or if you missed your councillor, you want to check out the playlist to hear what your councillor had to share. And remember, you can always reach out and get additional information from the municipal corporation as to what exactly the plans are for your area. You do have a voice, and you can make your voice be heard, be a part of your community group, so that you can be a part of the change that you would wish to see. Thank you again, Councillor Gordon, for sharing space with me here on the Serenity Resource Connector. Councillor Marshall, who was here earlier from Richies Division. Amazing. And just for those who are watching, whether you're live or you're watching the replay, if you have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Thank you to those who have already subscribed. We're over 700 subscribers, and we're pushing towards 1,000 and over. So if you're not a part of that number, please make sure that you subscribe. Set your notification. We go live each Thursday at 8 p.m. and we are looking at the different activities taking place in this space. Different playlists are there from as far back as 2021. So you want to tune in. For those in Richies and Spalding Division who are part of the early childhood sector, or your parent of young ones, there's a playlist there from the early childhood, the year of early childhood development that we went through every month last year, 2022, and providing guidance for our early childhood practitioners, including our parents. So you want to go there and get the information so that you can be empowered as we move forward together. Thanks again to the team at the Municipal Corporation, Team Clarendon, and the wider viewership, not just in Clarendon, but across Jamaica, in the diaspora. Thank you so much for making it the Serenity Resource Connector. See you again, 8 p.m. We are supposed to be having our youth leaders sharing with us on the next episode. So stay tuned to hear what they have to share. All right. Thanks again, and have a great night.